Imagine this. You've been a slave your entire life. Your parents were slaves, and their parents before them. For 400 years, your people have known nothing but back-breaking labor under the scorching Egyptian sun, building monuments for a king who sees you as less than human. Every day is a struggle for survival, a cycle of misery with no end in sight. But then a man named Moses arrives. He speaks of a promise, a covenant made with a powerful God, a God who has heard your cries and will deliver you. This is the reality for the Israelites in ancient Egypt. Under the tyrannical rule of Pharaoh, they endure unimaginable hardship. But Moses, raised in Pharaoh's own court, yet born an Israelite, becomes their unlikely champion. He confronts Pharaoh, demanding, "Let my people go." Pharaoh, his heart hardened, refuses. What follows is a divine showdown. A series of 10 devastating plagues descends upon Egypt. Each one a direct challenge to the Egyptian gods and a testament to the power of the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. The Nile turns to blood. Frogs swarm the land, livestock perish, and darkness blankets the kingdom. The final, most terrible plague convinces Pharaoh, heartbroken and defeated, he finally relents. The Israelites are freed. With haste, they gather their belongings, their unleavened bread, a symbol of their hurried departure. A pillar of cloud by day and a pillar of fire by night guides them, a constant visible sign of God's presence. They are no longer slaves. They are a people on the move, marching toward a promised land. But their journey is far from over. Their path leads them not to a simple border crossing, but to the vast, formidable expanse of the Red Sea. Behind them, the comfort of leaving Egypt. Ahead, an impassable body of water. They set up camp, the sea stretching out before them, a shimmering, endless barrier. Back in Egypt, Pharaoh's grief turns to rage. What has he done? He's just let his entire workforce walk away. The economic foundation of his empire is crumbling. Pride and fury consume him. He summons his army, the mightiest military machine of the ancient world. 600 of his finest chariots, the era's equivalent of tanks, are mobilized, along with his entire cavalry and foot soldiers. The ground trembles as this formidable force thunders across the desert in hot pursuit. For the Israelites camped by the sea, the sound starts as a low rumble, a distant tremor. Soon, the dust cloud appears on the horizon, growing larger and more menacing with each passing moment. Panic rips through the camp. The joy of freedom evaporates, replaced by sheer terror. They are trapped. The Red Sea blocks their front, and the most feared army on earth is closing in from behind. Their cries of desperation turn to accusations against Moses. Was it because there were no graves in Egypt that you brought us to the desert to die? It would have been better for us to serve the Egyptians than to die in the wilderness. It's a moment of absolute crisis. All human hope is extinguished. They are caught between the devil and the deep blue sea, quite literally. This is where faith is forged, in the crucible of impossibility. Moses, standing firm amidst the chaos and fear, raises his voice above the clamor. He projects a calm that defies the situation. "Do not be afraid," he declares to the terrified crowd. "Stand firm, and you will see the deliverance the Lord will bring you today. The Egyptians you see today, you will never see again. The Lord will fight for you. You need only to be still." Imagine the weight of that moment. An entire nation's fate rests on his next action. As the Egyptian chariots draw closer, the sound of their wheels and the war cries of the soldiers filling the air, Moses turns to the sea. He follows a divine command, one that must have sounded insane. He raises his staff, the simple wooden rod that has already been an instrument of miracles, and stretches his hand out over the water. What happens next is the stuff of legend, an event that has echoed through millennia. A strong east wind begins to blow. It's not just a breeze, it's a howling, relentless gale that blows all through the night. The surface of the sea begins to churn and foam, but it doesn't just create waves. The water begins to divide. It recedes, pulling back from the shore, not to one side, but splitting right down the middle. The sea parts, creating a path where there was none. And it's not just a shallow, muddy trail. The water piles up on either side, forming two immense, towering walls of liquid, suspended in a state that defies all laws of nature. The seabed is exposed, and the powerful wind dries it completely, turning it into a solid, walkable path. A corridor of dry land now cuts through the heart of the Red Sea. The Israelites stare in stunned silence, their fear replaced by profound awe. Moses leads the way, and the people, numbering in the hundreds of thousands, begin their exodus into the sea channel. Men, women, children, and their livestock walk on dry ground, flanked by colossal walls of water that glisten under the moonlight. They are literally walking through the sea. It's a miracle of such magnitude that it's almost impossible to comprehend. The Egyptian army, blinded by their arrogance and pursuit, doesn't hesitate. They see the path and charge right in after them, their chariots rumbling onto the dry seabed. They believe their victory is at hand. But their advanced military technology becomes their downfall. In the middle of the sea, the wheels of their heavy chariots get stuck in the softened ground. Confusion and chaos erupt within their ranks. They realize too late that they are fighting against a power far beyond their own. "Let's get away from the Israelites," they shout in panic. The Lord is fighting for them against Egypt. As the last Israelite steps onto the far shore, safe and sound, Moses receives his final command for this incredible event. Morning is breaking. He once again stretches his hand out over the sea. The moment his hand extends, the watery walls collapse. With a cataclysmic roar, the sea rushes back to its normal state, crashing down upon the entire Egyptian army. The chariots, the horses, the soldiers all are engulfed by the torrential flood. The mighty force that had terrorized the Israelites is utterly annihilated. Not a single soldier survives. As the sun rises, the Israelites stand on the shore of their freedom, looking back at the sea. The bodies of their former masters wash up on the sand, a final grim confirmation of their deliverance. The terror of the previous night gives way to an eruption of joyous praise. They have not just escaped, they have witnessed the impossible. They have seen the raw power of their God act decisively on their behalf. Their freedom is sealed, not by a treaty or a battle they fought themselves, but by a divine intervention of epic proportions. The parting of the Red Sea becomes the defining moment in the birth of their nation, a story that would be told from generation to generation as the ultimate proof of God's faithfulness and power to save. It's a powerful reminder that even when we are trapped with no way out in sight, faith can still part the seas before us. Thank you so much for joining me on this incredible journey through history. If you found this story as awe-inspiring as I do, please hit that like button and subscribe for more content that explores the greatest stories ever told. Don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments below. Until next time, stay curious.